Hi everyone. In today's video, we'll be looking at Update 5 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. There's a lot of hype behind this update because it boasts a huge FPS gain and releases on the next-gen Xbox consoles. In addition, there are a number of other exciting features. If you've been away for a little while like I have, now's a great time to come back. I'll go through the release notes and show you what's new. First, let's take a look at the performance gains. You may have seen the developer livestream weeks ago showing huge FPS gains combined with significant decreases in memory and CPU usage. To test this, I captured some footage flying through downtown Chicago a day prior to the update to compare after the update. For this test, I turned on maximum quality settings and tried to keep the most amount of buildings in view. For reference, I'm running an Intel i7-4790, 24GB of RAM, and an NVIDIA 2070 Super graphics card. On the right is pre-update 5, hovering around 12 to 15 frames per second. On the left is after update 5. With no other changes, I'm easily seeing at least 40 frames per second. Memory usage is also down, from 13 to 4 gigabytes. We see similar improvements in the interior view. I also did some testing in VR, and there's a bit of an improvement there as well. Now let's take a look at some of the other, less publicized features that caught my attention. First, this update organizes the activities section and cleans up the UI. The Discovery Flight section has a number of pre-planned flight routes showcasing some of the main content or world updates. You may have flown some of these in past updates. However, now there are some new and old ones we can fly. Next, the landing challenges and bush flight sections have been updated. This section is pretty much the same as before, but it's organized better and much cleaner. It doesn't seem to have saved my landing challenge progress, so it looks like I'll be redoing some of those. Same organizational updates here in the bush trips section. If you haven't flown any of these yet, I'd highly recommend it. The entire flight duration can be somewhere from 5 to 8 hours, but you get to explore some remote locations and you can run them leg by leg. Back on the home screen, the flight training has also been revamped. Each of the lessons have been ordered to specific or related sections for a nice clear and concise training path, somewhat reminiscent of the flight training in FSX. The final UI change I'd like to highlight is the world map. As long as it's daytime, you can zoom in and see satellite imagery of the surface now. This is really helpful if you're trying to start a flight in a very specific spot. Next, let's look at a couple of aircraft changes. Both the 172 and Cubcrafter have float and ski variations allowing landing in water and on snow. Here's some footage of the 172 on both floats and skis. Finally, we'll take a look at the lock interaction system. This system is mostly geared towards controller players, however standard PC users may get some use out of it as well. To use this, click and hold on a control. A tooltip will show some relevant information. If it's an adjustable control, you can move the mouse to change its value. While holding, the right mouse button will toggle the control. I'm not a big fan of this system with the mouse and keyboard, however it's kind of nice when trying to change an altimeter or heading setting in turbulence. When I installed this update, the new system was enabled by default and I didn't have any bound interaction keys, so I wasn't able to interact with any of the controls. You can enable and disable this system from the Accessibility Options menu. Legacy is the original system. If you are using the lock system, make sure you reset your mouse controls to default as a number of key bindings are required. That's most of the changes in this update. I have the release notes linked in the description if you'd like to review them yourself. Overall, I'm impressed with the update. The performance gain is huge, and I may be able to leave my settings on high. I'm a fan of the cleaner UI and the updated world map. Floats and skis are great, especially on the 172, which was one of my favorites to fly. I did run into a few game crashes testing out these updates, so hopefully that'll be cleared up soon. If you're planning on trying this out, be aware there's a 22GB update which took over an hour to download and install on my fiber connection. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like these changes? Is there something you'd like to see added or fixed?